It's time for Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock.
Believe me when I say we have a difficult time ahead of us. But if we are to be prepared for it, we must first shed our fear of it. I stand here without fear because I remember that I am here not because of the path that lies before me, but because of the path that lies behind me. I remember that for 100 years we have fought these machines. And after a century of war, I remember that which matters most. We are still here! Tonight, let us make them remember we are not afraid!
Welcome to Declare Your Independence with me, Ernest Hancock, each and every day here on LRN.FM network from Phoenix, Arizona, here at Freedom's Phoenix Farm. Yep, we're almost done, man. We're finally almost moved in. Nope, we're moved in. Unpacked last box. Ha ha ha. Then we got to get ready to go again. In a year, we want to be ready to go. Everybody's like, where, Ernie? Where are you going to go? And I'm like, anywhere, somewhere. You know, it depends. You know, I'd love to stay here. You know, we have a nice little thing going on here. Got the goats and chickens and growing crops and developing videos so you guys can see how we're developing and becoming self-sustaining as much as we can. Now, the thing is that what we're going to be doing today is we're going to go along these lines. Gardenpool.org. Gardenpool.org. We're going to spend 2 hours with this. We have on the line Danielle and Dennis. Now, they have been developing their backyard swimming pool. What happened? They bought a home. It was going to cost thousands of dollars to refurbish it, or thousands of dollars to get rid of it, or less to turn it into a self-sustaining biosystem. Aquaponics. Now, we're going to get into the details of this, but I want to share something with you real quick. Today, this morning, I've been doing a lot more research on what's happening in Japan. Fallout, radiation. Then we go into milk is being dumped all over lots of parts of the world. But I tell you what happened, what started me looking at this. A friend of mine, Renee, she said, hey, at first she goes, milk's only $1.50. I go, wow, what the heck? Is that a lost leader thing? Is it, people get them into the store to go buy milk? And so she started doing, she's kind of, organic was up to $14 a gallon. Then she started doing some research and found it piqued her a little bit. She started looking at it and she goes, the reason is because it had 300 times radiation levels. They're starting to go, it's not illegal yet. It's not bad, but, you got a little bit. We'll make it cheaper. We'll have cheap poison. So I'm going, wow. It's really starting to affect even us here. Then there's all kinds of, the fluoridation and lithium now. We have in today's archive links to stories about them adding lithium to water. And there's a campaign. There's this campaign. It's good. We have studies that show that it's a lower suicide rate in communities that have naturally occurring lithium. So we're going to add some more to change your mood so it's your old happy face. I've heard these arguments before. The government loves our children's teeth. We won't put fluoride in. It just keeps adding stuff. Are you serious? Then we have Jesse Ventura conspiracy theory doing on what's happening with the water and who's buying it up. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. I don't think it's going to get better. I think it's going to get worse. I think it's going to get to people finally, when it really starts to affect them personally and their loved ones directly and they can see it, there's going to be various levels of revolution. The biggest thing is, can we keep breathing in and out and survive this thing? And what better way to do it than to grow your own food, to be able to sustain your body with calories, be efficient in the use of water, being able to be autonomous off the grid, lower your consumption of energy, to be a man can be maybe not an island, but, you know, a self-sustaining peninsula. And, you know, if you network with other people, oh, it's going to be good. Let me just go ahead and welcome Danielle and Dennis, gardenpool.org. I got you guys there?
Yeah, we're here.
Now, let me go ahead and I gave a brief overview what we're going to be talking about. But what I found most interesting when we discussed, you went to the Arizona Breakfast Club, and we were talking, the one thing that I think we got most of the information from is that you started, and we'll get to that, but what were the hurdles and what were the development processes that you went through, that you expanded the concept and you learned more, and you had a background that you, at least you knew where the stuff was on the shelf at Home Depot because you used to be employed by them. So let's go ahead and start from the beginning. You purchased your home in Mesa, Arizona, and you've got this pool back there. What prompted you to, did you have the plan to do this, or you just didn't want to waste the space, or you're thinking about, how do you go from, I got a home, to all of a sudden I got a pool filled with plants and fish? How did that happen?
Well, basically, we purchased our home in October 2009. We had the pool built, or our garden pool built 2 days afterwards, after we closed, but it all goes back to 2007. My wife and I, we, you know, had a vision. We basically said we want to be as self-sustaining as we can in 5 years, and we've seen that we felt that things were going to get bad, and even if things didn't get bad, we think that this was the right way to go. So we made a goal, a 5-year goal, and when we first bought our house, I had a plan, and I showed my wife a plan, and she thought it looked great, and we found our perfect home, but it had a big empty pool. So we basically took this big empty pool and made a greenhouse structure, and we started propagating food, and we perfected the system that we have and we use now. Okay, now we got to get back a little bit. I guarantee you that there are a whole bunch of families out there, you know, young people, you're, I don't know, you're going to have to give specific ages, but you're late 20s, early 30s, you know, you're a young couple, you got 2 young kids, 2, 4, and I don't know a lot of people that were thinking that, yeah, we got a 5-year plan to be self-sustaining. Why? I mean, what is it? You know, what's your background or something you know that the rest of the planet doesn't know that you would even have such a goal? Well, you know, that's a good question. That's why I asked it. You know, I'm really into, you know, my dad was a socioeconomics major. He taught me a lot about the economy. He homeschooled me for a few years, and I just see things. Well, I look around us, look at our world, and I see ecological disasters, big business, big government, natural disasters. I see a lot of things happening, and I think that we're at a tipping point. And so I thought it was time to do something about it. You know, like you said, I worked at Home Depot for almost 10 years, and it was scary to see, middle-aged men come in not knowing how to hang a shelf, and that just really scared me. I remember my grandma telling me about, you know, living in the Depression and how times were, you know, really tough, and I thought, what if things were tougher? So we decided to kind of change our lives, and we decided not to keep it to ourselves either. We thought that we had something, and rather than keep it to ourselves, we decided to go with it with the public, and we're just amazed at how many people are interested in what we're doing. Well, let's go ahead. We got plenty of time. We got 2 hours. We're going to yak it up. So I want to really get into this is going to be probably one of the first opportunities. You've been interviewed on television. You have reality shows and do-it-yourself shows, and they're going to make you famous, man. I mean, we'll get into all that. But my thing is that there has to be a type of family and philosophy and person that would even think not only that they should, but that they could do such things. It's like that's being bred out of us. And the fact that your father would homeschool you for a few years, man, that just freed their mind. You know, imagine that you have people that their mind is just freed to even the possibility of not having to get everything from the grocery store. And then the next generation and the next, because we're going into the greatest depression. Some people are going to survive it, and some aren't. We're going to make sure you can. We'll be right back here on Declare Your Independence in just a little bit.